I can train him like a dog, my girlfriend texted her friends, joking about how clueless I was. When the group chat leaked, she started crying and calling me abusive. I didn't raise my voice, I just left. Everyone else stayed to watch her meltdown. Hey Reddit, my ex thought she could run little tests on me forever. Gaslighting, guilt trips, the whole playbook. I kept my mouth shut, took notes, and let her think she was winning. But she had no clue what was coming. Before we get there, let me start from the beginning. Met Amber about a year and a half ago at some art gallery opening downtown. One of those pretentious Thursday night events where everyone drinks cheap wine and pretends to understand abstract painting. My buddy Jay dragged me along because his girlfriend was showing her photography. I was about to bail early when I heard this laugh cut through the whole room. Loud, zero shame about it. That was Amber, standing in front of a painting that was literally just a red square, absolutely dying laughing with her friend. She was laughing because some guy tried to explain the deeper meaning to her like she was stupid, and she thought that was hilarious. We started talking. She was drinking white wine and complaining about her roommate's boyfriend who never left. We exchanged numbers around 10:30. She texted me before I even got to my car. Already bored without you, it said. Cheesy, but it worked. I was 31 and working as a medical equipment technician for several hospitals across the Austin area. Fixed CT scanners, X-ray machines, ventilators. Good money, weird hours, lots of driving between facilities. Amber worked in event planning for a hotel chain. She was 28. By week 6, she basically lived at my place. Her stuff showed up gradually. Toothbrush first, then a drawer, then half my closet. My sister Riley came over one morning and saw Amber's makeup covering my bathroom counter. You moving kind of fast with this one, Riley said while we grabbed coffee. Feels right though. Famous last words. I ignored her. Riley took 2 years before moving in with Trevor. I thought I knew what I was doing. First few months were solid. We'd cook together, stay up late talking about random stuff. The shift started around month 5. She'd ask what I was doing. I'd say working late at the hospital in Round Rock, and she'd go quiet. Not angry quiet, just this disappointed silence that made me feel like I'd done something wrong, even though I was literally at work. You're always at work, she'd say. I work the same schedule I always have. Feels like more now. It wasn't more, but I started checking in more often anyway, texting her between service calls, letting her know my route for the day. Then she started canceling plans last minute. We'd have dinner reservations, I'd be getting ready, and she'd text 30 minutes before. So tired. Rain check? No problem, I'd reply. You're not mad? Why would I be mad? Most guys would be. I'm not most guys. She'd go silent for an hour, then send a long paragraph about how she appreciated me being understanding and how her ex used to flip out over small things. I'd reassure her, tell her it was fine. We'd move on. Around month 8, Jay noticed something during a weekend when the 4 of us went to dinner. Him, his girlfriend Mia, me, and Amber. Amber spent the whole meal on her phone. Not subtly either. Full on scrolling, laughing at stuff, typing responses. When the food came, she barely looked up. You okay? I asked. Yeah, just handling some work stuff. At 9 on a Saturday? She gave me this look. Since when do you monitor my phone time? I don't. Just asking. Well, don't. Mia and Jay went quiet. The rest of dinner was awkward as hell. In the car afterward, Amber was sweet again. Apologizing, saying she was stressed about an event at work, didn't mean to snap. I told her it was fine. She grabbed my hand, told me I was the most patient guy she'd ever dated. That should have felt good. It didn't. Jay texted me the next morning. Dude, that was weird last night. Yeah. You notice she only apologizes after you don't react? What do you mean? Watch the pattern. She pushes. You stay calm. She apologizes and gets sweet. Repeat. I didn't respond. But I started watching. He was right. Over the next few weeks, I saw it play out again and again. She'd escalate something small. I'd stay calm. She'd flip back to sweet and affectionate when I didn't bite. Like she needed me to react. Month 9, we were at a house party with some of her work friends. I was talking to this guy about the CT scanner I'd just finished repairing when Amber walked over with her drink. Blake fixes hospital stuff, she said to the group. Like, maintenance guy things. The way she said it. Like she was explaining what a janitor does. Medical equipment technician, I said. CT scanners, MRI machines, ventilators. She laughed. Right, sorry. He gets very specific about the title. One of her friends, Nicole, jumped in. That actually sounds really cool. Like you have to know engineering and medicine? Sort of, yeah. It's a mix. Amber put her hand on my shoulder. He's also super risk-averse. Won't even ride roller coasters. Total homebody. Everyone laughed. She was smiling at me, watching. I just shrugged. Someone's got to be the responsible one. Kept talking to Nicole about the job. Amber's smile faded a little. She drifted off to refill her drink. Later that night in the car, she was all over me, telling me how proud she was, how smart I was, how she loved that I didn't get insecure about stupid things. I started keeping screenshots, not of everything, just the obvious stuff. Times she'd cancel plans, weird responses to normal questions, passive comments that felt like tests. Nothing dramatic, just building a folder on my phone labeled work stuff so she wouldn't see it if she borrowed my phone. Around month 10, she started doing this thing where she'd trauma dump late at night. Like 1 or 2 in the morning, she'd wake me up needing to talk about her childhood, or her ex, or her mom. Heavy stuff that took a lot out of me. First few times I went along with it. Listened, asked questions, tried to help. But then I noticed she only did it when I had to be up early for a 6 a.m. service call. Never on my days off. Always the night before a long shift. One night she started in on how her dad never supported her dream. It was 1:45 in the morning. I had to be at Dell Children's Hospital at 6. Can we talk about this tomorrow? I said. I've got that early call. Wow, okay. Guess I know where I rank. That's not what I meant. I just need sleep. Forget it. I'm fine. She rolled over. Wouldn't talk to me for 2 days. On day 3, she acted like nothing happened. Made me breakfast. Asked about my schedule. Month 11, she tried something new. Riley invited us to her place for game night. Board games, drinks, normal sibling hangout stuff. I told Amber about it Tuesday afternoon. Sounds fun, she said. Friday night came. I was getting ready around 6:30 when Amber came out of the bedroom. I don't think I'm going tonight. You feeling okay? No, I'm fine. Just think maybe you should spend time with Riley alone. You guys are close. I don't want to intrude. You're not intruding. Riley invited both of us. Still, family time is important. Come with me. It'll be fun. She got quiet again. Actually, you know what? If you're not feeling it, stay here. I'll go. Her expression changed immediately. So, you're just going to leave me here alone on a Friday night? You said you wanted me to go alone. I said I didn't want to intrude. Right. So I'm going alone. I grabbed my keys and left. She didn't text me the entire night. When I got home around 11, she was asleep. Next morning, she was cold. By Sunday afternoon, she'd reset. Sweet again. Made dinner. Asked about my week. Month 12 things got more direct. Amber started bringing up couples therapy. Not because we had problems she wanted to fix, because she thought I had issues. I've been reading about communication styles, she said one night, while we were watching TV. Yeah? And I think you might be avoidant, like emotionally. How so? You don't engage when I try to talk about serious things. You just shut down. I engage. I just don't engage at 2 in the morning when I have work at 6. See? That's defensive. We should see someone. A therapist. I'll think about it. 3 weeks later, she changed tactics. I already looked into therapists. Found 3 good ones. We could start next month. I didn't agree to that. You've been thinking about it for 3 weeks. I'm just moving things forward. By making decisions without me, I'm trying to help our relationship. I don't think we need therapy. She stared at me. First time I'd actually said no instead of putting her off. So you've just been stringing me along? I said I'd think about it. I thought about it. Answers no. She went silent. Left the room. Didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. Month 13, we were supposed to go to Riley's birthday dinner. Riley and I are close. She's the only family I've got in Texas since our parents moved to Colorado. The dinner was important. Day of around 3 in the afternoon, Amber texted. Not feeling great. You go without me. You sure? Riley's been looking forward to this. Yeah, I'll be fine. Tell her happy birthday. I went alone. Riley asked where Amber was. Not feeling well. Riley gave me this look but didn't say anything. Got home later that night. Amber was on the couch watching TV, looking completely fine. Wine glass on the table. Takeout containers from her favorite Thai place. Thought you weren't feeling well. I felt better. After I left? Don't start. I'm not starting anything. Just clarifying. She got up and went to the bedroom. Slammed the door. I sat there for a minute, then grabbed my phone and added the date to my notes. Riley's birthday. Claimed sick. Ordered takeout and wine. Started looking at the money stuff around this time too. We kept separate accounts, but I paid for most things. Checked my bank statements. Over the past year, I'd spent around $11,000 more than I should have. I stopped offering to pay for things. Didn't make a speech about it. Just stopped. Next grocery run, I got my stuff only. Left her items at the register. You forgot my things, she said. Did I? Very funny. Go back and get them. I'm only buying my food from now on. She stared at me. Are you serious? Yeah. This is childish. This is fair. She bought her own groceries. Didn't speak to me for 4 days. When she finally did talk to me again, she acted like the grocery thing never happened. Just launched straight into being sweet and asking about my day. Around month 15, Mia sent me something that changed everything. Blake, she texted, need to show you something. It was a screenshot from a group chat. Amber and 3 of her friends. The message was from Amber, dated 4 days earlier. Canceling on Blake tonight to see what he does. Bet he apologizes by morning. I read it 3 times. There were other messages too. Mia sent them all. Ignored his text for 6 hours today. He's probably spiraling. Running another test tonight. Told him my ex texted me. Watching him try to stay calm is hilarious. He's too easy. Never pushes back on anything. It's like training a dog. The messages went back months. I called Mia. Where'd you get these? Jade forwarded them to me. She didn't want Amber knowing it came from her, so she asked me to send them to you instead. Jade was Amber's friend from college. They'd known each other for like 8 years. Why now? Because Amber told them yesterday she's thinking about meeting up with Owen again. Her ex. Jade thought you should know what you're dealing with. I sat there on my couch staring at my phone. No anger, no hurt, just went really calm. Thanks for telling me. What are you going to do? Don't know yet. I hung up and scrolled through the screenshots again. Saved them all to my work stuff folder. Added them to a new subfolder labeled Evidence. Didn't confront Amber that night. Didn't change how I acted at all. Just watched. She came home around 8. Kissed me hello. Asked about my day. Normal. I made dinner. We watched a show. Went to bed. She had no idea I knew. Over the next 2 weeks, I tested something. Started saying no to small things. Plans I would have normally agreed to. Favors she'd ask for. Can you pick up my dry cleaning? Can't. Got a service call in that area but won't have time. But you're already there. Still won't have time. She'd go quiet. Then later she'd be extra sweet, trying to reset whatever she thought was wrong. I kept my responses minimal. 1-word answers. No explanations. Didn't try to make her feel better. Her texts got longer. More questions. You seem distant. Did I do something? Are we okay? I'd wait 3 or 4 hours to respond. We're fine. By week 3, she was freaking out, following me around the apartment asking if I was mad, trying to start conversations about our future, suggesting trips we should take. I agreed to nothing, committed to nothing, didn't give her anything. She hated it. I wasn't her boyfriend anymore. I was her placeholder, her practice dummy, something to run tests on while she figured out what she actually wanted. Month 16 came around. Amber planned this whole birthday thing for me. Made a big deal about it. Reservations at this expensive steakhouse downtown. Told me to invite whoever I wanted. Said she'd handle everything. Day of my birthday, I took off work. Got up around 9, made coffee, waited. She didn't wake up until noon. Came out of the bedroom in pajamas, went straight to her phone. Morning, I said. That was it. Around 2, I asked what time our reservation was. Oh, about that. Can we do tomorrow instead? Jade's having a crisis. My birthday's today. I know, but this is important. Jade's upset about something with her boyfriend, and she needs me. You made a big deal about tonight, and I'll make it up to you tomorrow. Promise. She left around 3. I sat there for a while, then called Jay. You busy? Nah, what's up? Want to grab food? We went to this dive bar near campus. Burgers and beer. Told him what happened. Man, that's rough. It's fine. It's not fine. It's your birthday. Really, I'm good. He looked at me like he was trying to figure something out. You've been weird lately. Calm, but weird. Just paying attention. To what? Everything. I showed him the group chat screenshots, including one from earlier that day where Jade mentioned she was at work all evening. Amber had used her name as cover. He read through them slowly. When he looked up, his whole expression had changed. How long you known about this? 3 weeks. And you haven't said anything? What's there to say? She told me who she is. I'm just deciding what to do about it. You're freakishly calm about this. Because I already know how this ends. Yeah? How? She's gone. Just figuring out the timing. He nodded slowly. Need help when you do it? Probably. Let me know. We finished our food, drank a couple more beers, talked about normal stuff, work, sports, Riley's new job at the museum. Got home around 9. Amber wasn't back yet. I went to bed. She woke me up at 1:15. Stumbling drunk, smelling like tequila, mascara smudged. Happy birthday, baby, she slurred. Didn't forget. She tried to kiss me. I turned my head. You seem mad. I'm tired. Going back to sleep. She got upset then. Started crying. Saying I didn't appreciate her. That she was just trying to help her friend. That I was being cold. I didn't respond. Just rolled over. She cried herself to sleep. Next morning, she didn't remember most of it. Acted like we were fine. Made me breakfast. Asked if we could do dinner that night for my birthday. I'm busy tonight, I said. Doing what? Stuff. Blake, come on. Another time. Her face went hard. Fine. Whatever. She left for work pissed. I went to the bank that afternoon, opened a new account, transferred all my money except what I needed for bills, changed my direct deposit, made sure my name was the only one with access to anything. Then I called my landlord. Same guy I'd been renting from for 6 years. Mr. Will. Good relationship. Always paid on time. Hey, I need a favor. What's up, Blake? I need the locks changed. Today, if possible. I'll pay extra. Everything okay? Will be. Just need it done. She's not on the lease, so I should be clear legally, right? You're the only one on the lease, that's true. But I'm not a lawyer. If she's been living there a while, you might want to make sure you're handling everything by the book. I can still get the locks changed today if that's what you want. Yeah, do it. All right. I'll have someone there by 5. Appreciate it. Hung up and did a quick search on tenant rights. She could probably say she lived there, might even have some legal standing if she pushed it. But I had her stuff ready to go, Riley coming as witness, and I was willing to take the risk if she wanted to lawyer up. I wanted the break to be final, clean, documented. Locksmith showed up at 4:45. Guy named Frank. Had the job done in 30 minutes. New deadbolt. New handle. 3 keys. While he worked, I started pulling Amber's stuff out of my closet. Not packing yet, just separating. My phone buzzed. Text from Amber. Having drinks with work people tonight. Don't wait up. That was it. I kept pulling her stuff out. Made a pile in the corner of the bedroom. Her dresses, her shoes, her ridiculous collection of throw pillows that served no purpose. Around 7, I called Riley, asked her to come by in the morning with boxes, and told her it was about Amber. She said she'd be there at 8. After I hung up, I looked around the apartment, seeing clearly what was mine and what wasn't, then went to bed and slept without issue. Woke up at 3:45 in the morning, reached across the bed, empty, grabbed my phone, nothing from Amber. Opened the location app we'd set up for safety reasons months ago. She insisted on it after her friend got stranded downtown. The dot loaded. Sat right on Westlake Drive. Last updated, 3:32 a.m. I knew that address. Owen's apartment complex. Her ex. Watched it for 15 minutes. Didn't move. Took a screenshot. Saved it to evidence folder. Closed the app. Went back to sleep. Riley arrived at 8 with her truck full of boxes. Took one look at me and understood immediately. After I showed her the screenshot proving Amber had been at Owen's place since the early morning, she just nodded and apologized, and we got to work. We packed fast. Clothes, shoes, bathroom products, unread books, endless candles, stuffing everything into boxes, taping them shut, labeling as we went. By noon, 31 boxes filled the living room. She asked if I was really going through with it. I told her yes, and when she offered to stay, I said I needed to finish it alone. Before she left, she hugged me and said she was proud of me. After Riley left, I sat on the couch and waited. Made coffee, checked my phone. Nothing from Amber still. She walked in at 2:20 in the afternoon. Same clothes from yesterday, hair messy, heels in her hand. Saw the boxes and froze. What is this? Your stuff. Blake, what are you doing? Where were you last night? Watched her face change. Confusion first, then realization, then straight to defensive. I told you. Work drinks. Try again. Excuse me? Pulled out my phone. Showed her the location screenshot. You were at Owen's apartment overnight. Last updated 3:32 a.m. when I checked at 3:45. And you just walked in at 2:20 wearing yesterday's clothes. All color left her face. Then came back red. She actually laughed. This sharp, bitter sound. Oh, wow. So now you want to play detective? I set my phone on the coffee table. Looked at her for 3 seconds. Not anymore. What's that supposed to mean? Means I don't care where you were. Don't care why. Just need you to take your boxes and leave. You're insane. Nothing happened. I'm done. She walked to the door. Probably thought she'd storm out and come back later when I'd calm down. Shoved her key in the lock. Wouldn't turn. Tried again. Nothing. She turned and stared at me. You changed the locks. It's my apartment. My name on the lease? You can't just kick me out. Actually, I can. You're not on the lease. Never wanted to be, remember? Said it felt too permanent. Her eyes got wet. Blake, please, let me explain. No. Just listen. Take your boxes or they're going to the curb. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Called Jade. Her voice cracked when she explained the situation. Jade showed up 45 minutes later. Looked at everything. Looked at me. Started loading boxes without a word. Amber kept trying to talk to me between trips. Can we talk about this tomorrow? No. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. I love you. If that were true, you wouldn't have spent the night at Owen's. When the door closed, the apartment felt massive and quiet. I sat there for maybe an hour, then got up and took down the photos of us from the wall. All of them. Put them in a trash bag, stripped the bed, and put on new sheets I'd bought the week before. Threw the old ones away, grabbed my phone and opened the location sharing app. Removed her access, deleted the app completely, moved furniture around so the couch faced a different direction, made the space mine again. Riley called around 5. How'd it go? She's gone. You all right? Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's probably shock. It's not shock. It's relief. First week after the breakup, Amber texted 63 times. Please let me explain. You're being unfair. Owen means nothing to me. Why won't you respond? The rest were more of the same. Sorry, then angry, then sorry again. I responded once on day 4. Do not contact me again. She didn't stop. Day 8, Owen called. Blake, listen, nothing happened. She showed up drunk around 2 crying about you guys. Passed out on my couch. Why didn't she just tell me that? Silence. Right, because even if it's true, she lied instead. She's really messed up right now. Not my problem anymore. Hung up. Blocked his number. Day 10. She showed up at my apartment at 11 at night. Knocked for 5 minutes straight. I didn't answer. Called the non-emergency line. Reported someone trying to force entry. They gave me an incident number. I wrote it down. She left before anyone arrived. Day 12, I bought a Ring doorbell camera. Installed it that afternoon. She came back that night. 11:45. The camera caught everything. Her knocking. Her crying. Came back again 2 nights later. 1:30 in the morning. I saved all the footage with dates and times. Jay came over day 15. You look terrible. Thanks. She's still blowing up your phone? Showed him the count. 87 messages now. 6 voicemails. 4 visits all on camera. You need a restraining order? Just documenting everything first. Week 4. I started hearing things through mutual friends. That I'd been controlling. That I tracked her constantly. That I kicked her out without warning. Lisa from work pulled me aside. I heard something weird about you. What? That you've been unstable since your breakup. Harassing your ex. I pulled out my phone. Showed her the blocked call log. The text count. The ring footage. Jesus! This is all from her? Yeah. Blake, you need to get ahead of this. Talk to HR. I went to HR that afternoon. Brought printouts of everything. The texts. The call logs. The ring footage. The police incident number. Karen looked through it all. This is harassment. I know. Just want it on record in case she tries to contact me at work. Smart. We'll document this. If she shows up here, let us know immediately. Week 5, I was at the hospital in Georgetown when security called. We have someone here asking for you. Says she's your girlfriend and needs to talk about an emergency. I don't have a girlfriend. What's her name? Amber. Tell her I'm not available and ask her to leave. If she refuses, call the police. She left about 5 minutes ago. Want us to flag her in the system? Yeah. He took her name and description. Added her to the no-contact list. The hospitals I serviced were all part of the same health system, so the flag would apply across all locations. I called Karen and HR to report that Amber had shown up at the Georgetown hospital. She confirmed security kept her away and said she'd document it. Later that night, she emailed formal confirmation of the incident, which I saved to my evidence folder. It felt good having it officially recorded. Week 6, Mia sent me another screenshot. Amber's message. Can't believe he's turning everyone against me. All I did was stay at a friend's house. Below that, Jade's response. You spent months playing games with him and got caught. Stop acting like you're the victim. Then Jade's name disappeared from the member list. She'd left the chat. Week 7, I ran into Amber's mom at the grocery store. She was waiting in the cereal aisle. Blake, we need to talk. I don't think we do. Amber is devastated. She made a mistake, but she loves you. No. Just like that, after a year and a half, she spent the night at her ex's place and lied about it, then harassed me for weeks. Yeah, just like that. You're being cruel. She needs closure. She needs to move on. If you just talk to her, I'm not doing this. Excuse me. I pushed my cart past her. Week 9, her mom called. Left a voicemail. Deleted it. Didn't call back. 3 days later, Helen showed up at my apartment with her sister, Amber's Aunt Claire. I checked the Ring camera first. Opened the door but didn't invite them in. We need to talk about Amber. There's nothing to talk about. Claire stepped forward. We're worried about her. She's not eating. She might hurt herself. Then get her professional help. She needs to talk to you, to apologize properly. I'm not meeting with her. Why are you being so stubborn? Helen asked. She made one mistake. She spent months manipulating me. I have the receipts. This wasn't one mistake. Helen's face hardened. You're holding on to anger. I'm keeping my boundaries. Claire pulled out her phone. We also wanted to talk about valuable things Amber left. We'd like to pick them up. Everything got boxed and given to Jade weeks ago. You gave away her things? I gave her 31 boxes of her belongings. If she's missing something that's on her, we want to come in and look. No, you can't refuse us entry. This is my apartment. My name on the lease. I can refuse, and I am. Helen's eyes filled with tears. I thought you were a good man. I need you both to leave. We're not leaving until you agree to talk with Amber. I pulled out my phone and started dialing 911. They left. Week 10. Helen sent a text from Amber's phone. This is Helen. Amber can't afford therapy. She needs it to process. Can you help pay for a few sessions? $500. Block the number. She tried from her own phone the next day. Blake, please, just to help her get help, block that number too. Week 12. Riley told me Amber's family was spreading a different story at their church, that I'd been financially abusive, that I'd controlled Amber's money. Want me to say something? Riley asked. No. Let them talk. Week 14. Jay invited me to a rooftop party, same venue where I'd met Amber about a year and a half ago. Wasn't going to let her stop me from going places. Got there around 8, was grabbing a beer when I saw her. Amber, standing near the railing with Owen. They were definitely together, laughing about something. She saw me at the same time, went pale. I turned back to my beer. She came over anyway. Owen trailing behind. Blake, hi. This isn't... I looked at her. Amber, I mean, we're not... You can do whatever you want. We're not together. I just didn't want you to think... I don't think about you. That landed. Her whole face shifted. Owen stepped forward. Come on, let's go. After a few seconds, she turned and left. 20 minutes later, one of Amber's friends, Rachel, came up drunk and angry. You're a real piece of work. Don't think we know each other well enough for that. Amber's crying in the bathroom because of you. That's not my problem. You tracked her, kicked her out, turned all her friends against her. None of that's true. Jade appeared. Rachel, stop. Rachel turned. What? He didn't track her. She insisted they share locations, then spent the night at her ex's place and lied about it. That's not... And he didn't kick her out without warning. She had all her stuff packed and ready. 31 boxes. Clean, organized. I helped her move them. And I was in the group chat where she talked about running tests on him. Called it training. Rachel went quiet. Jade looked at me. Sorry, I know you didn't ask me to do that. Appreciate it anyway. We stayed another hour. Amber and Owen left early. Week 16. I was working on an MRI machine when my phone rang. Unknown number. Blake? It was Claire. How'd you get this number? From Helen. Listen, Amber and Owen broke up. It's bad. Okay. Okay? That's all you have to say? I don't know what you want from me. She's telling people she wants to hurt herself. Then call 911. I'm not equipped to handle that. You're so cold. I'm realistic. If she's in danger, call 911. You could help her. No, I can't. And I won't. Hung up. Blocked the number. Week 18, Jade called. Blake, heads up. Amber and Owen broke up about 3 days ago. He caught her texting someone else late at night. She's been calling me nonstop wanting me to reach out to you. And I'm not doing it. Just thought you should know she might try to contact you. Thanks for the warning. Also wanted to say I'm sorry for not telling you sooner about the group chat. You told me when it mattered. You're handling this better than most people would. Because I'm not handling it. I'm just moving on. Month 5. After the breakup, things were better. Started running mornings before work. 4 miles through the neighborhood. Lost some weight. Felt stronger. Also picked up my guitar again after 2 years. Went on a few dates through apps. Nothing serious. One woman talked about her ex the whole time. Another was nice, but we had zero chemistry. The apartment felt completely mine. I'd replaced all the shared furniture, new couch, new coffee table, different art on the walls. Riley came over one Saturday with Thai food. You seem good. I am. No regrets? Not one. You ever going to set the record straight? About what actually happened? Been thinking about it. She's out there calling you controlling, making you the villain. I know. So why not use it? I thought about it for a few days, then decided. Made a Google Doc. No commentary, no explanation. Just threw everything in there by date. Screenshots of the group chat messages where she talked about running tests on me, location data from the night at Owens, text message counts showing harassment pattern, Ring camera footage with timestamps, the police incident numbers, the HR documentation email, everything. Titled it, Timeline. Shared the link with 4 people, Riley, Jay, Mia, Jade. Sent them all the same message. Share if you think people need to see it. Don't if you don't. Just putting it out there. Within 48 hours, it had reached most of our mutual circles. Mia had sent it to a few friends who knew both of us. Jay posted it in a group chat with some of our college buddies. It spread from there. My phone stayed quiet for a week. Then things started happening. Mia texted. 3 of Amber's friends reached out asking if the screenshots were real. Told them yes. They all stopped talking to her. Day 4, Jay sent a message. Ran into Owen at the gym. He saw the doc. Said he felt like an idiot. They broke up 2 days ago. Day 6, Jade called. Blake, Amber knows about the document. Okay, she's losing it. Called me screaming about how you're ruining her life. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped letting her lie about it. Also, she got let go from her job. What? The hotel found out about the harassment stuff. Someone sent them the documentation. I sat there processing that. Didn't feel anything really. Just took it in and moved on. Week 3, Riley told me Amber's family was asking around about the document, trying to get it taken down. Can they do that? It's all true. It's all real. They can't do anything. Month 6, Jade sent me one final message. Amber's moving back to Dallas. Her mom found her a job there. She's leaving next week. That it? That's it. One more thing. She asked me to ask you if you'd be willing to talk before she leaves. No. That's what I told her you'd say. That night, I went through my phone, deleted the Google Doc, removed the link, took down all the screenshots from my evidence folder, every single one, deleted Amber's contact completely, deleted Owen's, deleted her mom's and aunt's numbers, deleted the group chat screenshots, deleted the location data, deleted the Ring camera footage from my phone, everything I had control over, emptied the trash folder. My copies were gone. HR still had their record. Police had their incident reports. The people I'd shared the doc with might still have it, but my part was done. Day before Amber was supposed to leave for Dallas, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. Blake, it's me. I know you don't want to talk, but I need to say this. I'm sorry. For everything. The lying. The manipulation. The way I treated you. You were the best thing I had and I destroyed it. I don't know why I did what I did. Maybe I was scared. Maybe I'm broken. I don't know. But you deserved better. You deserved someone who saw how good you were and didn't try to tear it down. I'm leaving tomorrow. Moving back to Dallas. Starting over. I just wanted you to know I know it's my fault. All of it. I hope you find someone who treats you right. Someone who doesn't play games. You deserve that. I read it twice. Then I locked my phone and set it down on the coffee table. Didn't answer. Went to bed around 10. Slept straight through until 6 the next morning. When I woke up, I checked my phone. 2 more messages from the unknown number. Please just tell me you got my message. Blake, please. I deleted the conversation without replying. Didn't block the number yet. Just removed the thread. Made coffee. Went for my morning run. 4.2 miles through the neighborhood. Felt good. Strong. Got back. Showered. Made breakfast. Scrambled eggs and toast. Ate on the balcony watching people walk their dogs. Around 9, I had to leave for work. Service call at the hospital in Round Rock. An X-ray machine throwing error codes. Drove there listening to music. Alt country station out of Austin. Got to the hospital. Fixed the machine. Took about 90 minutes. Routine stuff. Recalibrated the sensor array. Ran diagnostics. Cleared the errors. Talked to the radiology tech about his weekend plans. Normal conversation. He was taking his kids to Schlitterbahn. Checked my phone in the truck before leaving. One new message from the unknown number. I guess this is goodbye then. I stared at it for about 5 seconds. Then I blocked the number. Drove to my next call in Georgetown. Fixed a CT scanner. Finished my workday around 4:30. Got home. Parked. Walked inside. Set my keys on the counter. Grabbed a beer from the fridge. Sat on the balcony watching the sun go down. After dinner, I played guitar for about an hour. Then got ready for bed. I checked my phone once. Cleared work emails. Replied to Jay. And saw nothing else. No messages. No notifications. No location pings. I lay down on the fresh sheets and fell asleep within minutes. No dreams. No reaching for someone who wasn't there. Just sleep. Next morning, I woke at 6:15, made coffee, ran, and headed out for a full day of hospital calls. Just a normal Tuesday. My phone stayed silent in the cup holder. I drove to work listening to music, not thinking about Amber once. My life was mine again, and it felt perfect. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true. What would you do if your girlfriend sat you down like she was running a board meeting and told you that you weren't enough? That you were too comfortable, too soft, basically a human couch? Most guys would spiral, beg, try to fix things. Not this guy. He walked out with his dignity intact, took the plant she never watered, and figured that was it. Except it wasn't. Her own mother called him up a few days later, not to apologize, not to check in, to set him up with the younger sister. And the younger sister? She actually appreciated everything the ex threw away. This one is a slow burn, and the payoff is unreal. Let's get into it. Ex dumped me, but her mom set me up with her younger sister, and now she is fuming. So, my girlfriend Nadine broke up with me on a Tuesday night at her kitchen table. No build-up, no big fight the week before, no dramatic event that set it off. Just a regular Tuesday where I thought we were going to eat leftovers and maybe watch something together. And instead, she was sitting across from me with her laptop open, a glass of water centered perfectly on a coaster, and this expression on her face like she was about to deliver bad news to a shareholder. A little context. Nadine and I had been together for 3 years. She worked in corporate finance at a big firm downtown. The type of woman who color-coded her calendar and talked about quarterly goals during brunch. I'm an operations analyst at a consulting firm. Good job, stable income, nothing flashy. We met at a friend's gathering, hit it off, moved in together after about a year. I thought we were solid. We had routines, inside jokes, a plant on the windowsill that I watered every morning. Normal relationship stuff. The kind of thing that feels boring from the outside until you don't have it anymore. I should have known from the way the room felt when I walked in that night. No music playing. No TV on in the background. Just silence and overhead lighting, which is never a good sign in any relationship. She adjusted her glasses, folded her hands on the table, and took one of those slow breaths that people take before they say something they've rehearsed in the mirror. Then she spoke in what I can only describe as her business voice. The one she used on conference calls when she was about to tell someone their project got cut from the budget. She said she'd been evaluating our situation and that we were no longer aligned in goals. Our situation, not our relationship. Not us. Our situation. Like I was a quarterly report that came back with a negative outlook. I asked her if she was breaking up with me or giving me a performance review. She told me not to be dramatic, called us adults, which is a pretty wild thing to say to someone who's currently watching his entire life get reorganized over a glass of water on a weeknight with no warning. Then she laid it all out. She was focused on career, ambition, and growth. She had timelines. A 5-year plan that apparently didn't include me anymore. When she got to the part about what I brought to the table, she did this vague little wave at my whole body, my whole existence, and landed on the word comfort. She said it like she was reading a diagnosis, like I had a condition. She said I was comfy, cozy, like a couch. 3 years together, and my exit review compared me to living room furniture. I sat there and let her finish because what else was I supposed to do? She said I was a good guy, but not enough. That she needed someone who pushed her harder, someone who matched her drive and made her feel challenged. She said it calmly, like she was explaining a business decision that just made sense on paper. I wanted to bring up a few things, like how I spent an entire Saturday assembling her wardrobe by hand while she watched reality TV and worked through a family-sized bag of chips without offering to help once. Like how the guy from her office had been calling her past midnight for weeks, and every single time I brought it up, she flinched for half a second and then said it wasn't relevant. That micro-flinch told me everything I needed to know, but I never pushed it because I trusted her. My mistake. But I didn't say any of that. Because when someone's already decided you're not enough, arguing just makes you look desperate. And whatever else I am, I'm not that. I sat there looking at the shared plants on the windowsill, the mugs we picked out together at a flea market 2 years ago, the blanket on the couch that she always stole and I never complained about. 3 years. 3 years of showing up, being steady, doing the boring stuff that actually holds a relationship together. And this was the summary. Not aligned. Too soft. Not enough. She closed her laptop like she was wrapping up a meeting. Stood up. Told me I'd be fine because I was nice. Said someone softer would appreciate me one day. Like that was supposed to help. Like nice was a consolation prize she was handing me on the way out. I grabbed my jacket, took the little plant we'd been growing on the windowsill, because I was the only one who ever watered it. She never touched it once in 3 years. Didn't slam the door. Didn't raise my voice. Didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me crack. Just left. Walked home in a fog. The streets felt different. Longer somehow. I kept thinking about 3 years of small moments. All the times I made her laugh and she looked at me like I was the best thing in the room. All the mornings I woke up before her and made the coffee just the way she liked it. All the nights I rubbed her shoulders after bad days at work and never once asked for credit. None of that mattered now. It was all filed under comfort, which apparently was the lowest tier on her value chart. Put the plant on my kitchen table and sat across from it like it owed me an explanation. Checked my phone. No apology text. No, are you okay? Just a notification from my banking app letting me know I'd paid for her streaming subscription 2 days ago. Incredible. The universe really just twists the knife sometimes. 3 days went by and I was a wreck. Barely ate. Slept in short bursts that never lasted more than a couple hours. Kept replaying her greatest hits in my head on an endless loop. Not aligned, too comfortable, not enough. Every time I started feeling like maybe I could pull myself together, my brain would cue up another clip, and I'd be right back at that kitchen table getting professionally evaluated out of my own relationship. I went to work, did my job, came home, stared at the plant. That was the whole routine. I work as an operations analyst at a consulting firm, so I'm used to order and systems. I like when things make sense, but there's no spreadsheet for processing the fact that the woman you spent 3 years with thinks you're equivalent to a piece of furniture. There's no workflow for that. You just sit there and absorb it. The hardest part wasn't the breakup itself, it was the quiet afterwards, coming home to an apartment that suddenly felt twice as big, opening the fridge and seeing food for one, reaching for my phone to text her something funny I saw, and then remembering I wasn't supposed to do that anymore. Those little moments piled up faster than the big ones. Then on day 3, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost let it ring out because it was probably spam or a recruiter for something I didn't apply for. But I picked up anyway because honestly, what else did I have going on? It was Nadine's mom. I need to give you some background on this woman. Over 3 years of dating Nadine, her mom had basically adopted me into the family. Every single time I walked through that front door, she had food in my hands within 60 seconds. She scolded me for apologizing too much. She told me to eat more at least twice per visit. She once called me her almost son in front of the whole family at a dinner, and I choked on my food so hard someone had to pat my back. She didn't ask how I was doing. She asked if I'd eaten. I said I'd had coffee. She said coffee wasn't food. I could hear the disappointment through the phone. Then she told me to come to dinner. 6 o'clock, tonight. No discussion. I tried to explain that it was probably a bad idea to show up at the family house of the woman who just dumped me, that it would be awkward, that maybe we should all just move on. She didn't even let me finish. She said I'd sat at her table for 3 years and she wasn't the one who divorced me. Told me not to argue. Hung up. I looked at the plant, told it I'd just been summoned by the scariest woman I've ever known. The plant offered no guidance. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Just let the whole family fade out of my life the way Nadine clearly wanted. But this woman had fed me, scolded me, and told me I was too skinny every single week for 3 years. You don't just ghost someone like that, especially when she has your number and zero problems using it. I showed up at 5 minutes to 6 because that woman genuinely scared me more than any boss I'd ever had. She opened the front door in what felt like half a second, grabbed my wrist, and pulled me inside like I was late for an emergency. First words out of her mouth were that I looked skinny. I told her I'd lost about 3 days of emotional stability, and maybe some water weight. She ignored that entirely, and shoved a plate into my hands before I could even get my shoes off. The house smelled exactly the way it always did. Something baking in the oven. Spices I couldn't name but recognized on instinct after 3 years of being fed at that table. Memories hit from every angle. The couch where Nadine and I used to sit. The mug I always drank from. The hallway where her family photos hung. But Nadine herself wasn't home. Small mercy. Pause for a second here. This is me jumping in, not the OP. I need you to appreciate what this mom is doing. Her daughter dumps a solid dude who showed up for 3 years straight, and her response isn't to stay out of it. It's to call him, demand he come over, feed him, and refuse to let the breakup erase him from the family. She isn't meddling. She's running a full operation. She looked at what Nadine threw away and said, "Nope, somebody in this house is going to keep this one." I respect the vision completely. Now watch what she does next. Dinner and a guest. Her mom sat across from me while I ate and watched me like she was conducting some kind of soul-level evaluation. Every bite was being noted. I tried to acknowledge the awkwardness. She waved it away like I'd said something irrelevant. Said Nadine told her everything. Said her daughter dumped me like a bad stock. Then she called her own daughter stupid. Not in a hateful way. More like a professor who's watched a talented student waste potential for the 100th time and is finally done being polite about it. I tried defending Nadine. It was instinct. 3 years with someone, and you still protect them even when they've hurt you. I said maybe she was right, and I really was holding her back. Her mom made a sound like I'd personally insulted her cooking and her ancestry in one sentence. She said if anything, I was the only thing keeping Nadine grounded. That without me steadying things behind the scenes, Nadine would have burned out or blown up her own career a long time ago. She said Nadine was smart, but too clever to be wise. That some people only learn the value of stability when they're standing in the wreckage of their own chaos. That line landed somewhere deep and didn't come back out. Then she went quiet, looked right at me with this expression that was warm but calculated, like she'd been building to something all night. And she said she still believed I belonged in this family, just not with Nadine. Before my brain could even begin to process that sentence, the front door opened. Shoes hitting the floor in the hallway. A voice calling out that was bright and warm and completely different from Nadine's boardroom energy. And then Lena walked in. Nadine's younger sister. I hadn't seen her in about 3 years. Last time was at a family cookout right after Nadine and I started dating. She'd been in college then, quiet, mostly in the background. Now she was standing in the kitchen doorway looking confused and amused in equal measure, trying to figure out why her sister's ex was eating her mom's cooking at their kitchen table. Her mom smiled like someone who had just played a move 3 turns ahead in chess. Said I wasn't a guest, said I was almost family. I nearly choked for the second time in this woman's house. Lena shook my hand. Firm grip, easy smile. She said she remembered me. Said I used to fix their Wi-Fi and carry all the grocery bags in one trip like it was a personal challenge. I told her, yeah, that tracked. I am unreasonably committed to the one-trip grocery carry. It's a principle at this point. She sat down at the table like it was the most natural thing in the world. Didn't make it weird. Didn't act like I was some leftover from her sister's life that needed to be dealt with. Just sat, grabbed a plate, and started talking to me like I belonged there. Dinner happened. Extra plates appeared out of nowhere, because in this house, food materializes the second anyone sits down. Lena ended up next to me, and we talked about nothing important. She was in her last year of graduate school, studying organizational psychology at a university a few hours away, but home for the break. She talked about it the same way she talked about everything, with this warmth that made even boring topics feel interesting. Her mom watched us the entire time like she'd just pressed play on her favorite movie and was waiting for the good part. At one point, Lena leaned over and whispered that it felt like a date she didn't agree to. I whispered back that her mom was probably arranging marriages. She nodded, like that was a completely reasonable conclusion, given the evidence. Then her mom stood up, announced she forgot something in the garden, and walked outside. Lena said they didn't have a garden. Her mom ignored that entirely and went to sit in a plastic chair next to one sad bush in the yard. She pulled out her phone and started scrolling like she was on vacation. Door closed behind her. We sat there in the sudden quiet. Lena muttered that her mom was clearly leaving us alone on purpose. Said she did this anytime she wanted 2 people to talk without her interference, except she was sitting 12 feet away behind a glass door, which was barely interference-free. I said the whole dinner was probably a pity invite. She squinted at me and said that was wrong. Dead wrong. She said her mom had called me the night she found out about the breakup. Not a week later. Not when it was convenient. That night. And the first thing she said to Lena was that Nadine had lost the best person in the family. She said I was the favorite almost son. That I ranked higher than every single guy either daughter had ever brought home. And that included 3 of Nadine's exes and 2 of Lena's. I genuinely did not know how to respond to that. My mouth opened and nothing useful came out. Lena laughed, said I didn't have to say anything, said she just wanted me to know that one person's opinion of me didn't represent the full picture, that Nadine saw the world through a very specific lens, and it wasn't the only one that mattered. Hold on. Let me jump in here. I love how Lena handles this whole thing. She's not flirting. She's not playing some angle. She's just being warm and honest and letting this dude know he was way more valued than Nadine ever told him. That line about ranking higher than every boyfriend in the family history? That's the mom's entire endorsement delivered through the back channel. And Lena drops it casually, like it's just a fact. This is where things start shifting for the OP, and he doesn't even fully realize it yet. Pay attention. The crack in the wall. She asked me how I was really doing. I gave her the default fine. She raised an eyebrow and said it was okay to not be fine. Something about the way she said it, direct and calm, no judgment at all, cracked through whatever I had built up. I told her I felt stupid. She asked why. I told her because Nadine said I wasn't enough. Lena made this noise somewhere between a laugh and a growl. She said that was Nadine's trademark breakup line, that she used it on everyone. She said Nadine told her college boyfriend he was a bottleneck to her personal evolution. Those words exactly. I said it felt like getting dumped through a LinkedIn status update. She said, yeah, that was basically Nadine's entire brand. Then she got a little more serious. Leaned forward and said, Nadine didn't understand comfort. That warmth, softness, and genuine affection made Nadine feel like she was losing her edge. That Nadine saw love as friction and calmness as weakness. She said her sister had always been like that. Even as kids, Nadine treated every relationship like a competition. Friendships, school, dating. Everything had to be moving, escalating, challenging. The second something felt stable, Nadine got restless and convinced herself she was settling. Then Lena paused and said she was the opposite. That she valued comfort. That she thought it was a strength, not something to be embarrassed about. She said the older she got, the more she realized that the people who make you feel at ease are the rare ones, not the ones who keep you on edge. I laughed for real. First genuine laugh in 3 days. Her whole face lit up. She said she knew I could still do it. Something shifted in that moment. Tiny, quiet, but real. Like a door opening somewhere that I didn't even know existed. The back door opened and her mom came back in, asking if we were still sitting together like she hadn't planned the entire thing down to the minute. She immediately started asking me if I was seeing anyone. Lena made a sound of pure horror. Her mom said it was just a question. Lena said it was an interrogation. Her mom shrugged and said she was just exploring the possibilities. Lena looked at me with an expression that said, I'm sorry. She's always like this, and I just smiled because, honestly, it was the most wanted I'd felt in weeks. Over the next couple weeks, I kept ending up back at that house. It was never forced. Her mom would text me to come pick up leftovers. Lena would send me a random article she thought was funny with a, you'd appreciate this attached. The dish thing happened too. Her mom gave me a ceramic plate and said, return it sometime. If you think that was anything other than a calculated move to get me back through that front door, you don't understand this woman at all. So I went back, plate in hand, heart doing things I wasn't ready to acknowledge. Lena opened the door and smiled like I just made her entire day better by showing up. Her mom appeared from around a corner, shoved a laundry basket into my arms, and told me and Lena to go hang clothes in the backyard. When Lena asked why they both needed to do it, her mom said bonding and locked the door behind us. Physically locked it. The backyard was the same as before. One bush, one chair, one clothesline. Still no basil, despite her mom claiming she'd been out checking on it during the first dinner. Lena and I started hanging laundry and just talked. It was easy. That was the thing I kept noticing. Conversation with Lena didn't require effort. It just flowed. No performing, no trying to sound interesting. Just two people standing in a yard hanging sheets and saying whatever came to mind. She asked what I'd been doing since the breakup. I said mostly overthinking every decision I'd made in the last 3 years and wondering where it went wrong. She said that sounded exhausting and was probably doing me zero good. Said I needed breaks, ice cream breaks, movie breaks, talking to actual humans breaks. She said isolation was the worst possible response to rejection, and that the best thing I could do was keep showing up around people who reminded me that I wasn't the problem. I asked her if she knew anyone who could help with that. She looked right at me, held it for a beat longer than necessary, smirked and said maybe. Wind caught a bedsheet and whipped it across my face like some kind of slapstick punishment from the universe. I stumbled backward and ran straight into her. She caught me, one hand flat on my chest, one on my shoulder. We were standing way too close for two people doing household chores. Neither of us moved. She asked if I was okay. I said, yep, in a voice that had somehow jumped 3 octaves above normal. She laughed, soft and close, and said I was adorable. My brain submitted a formal request to shut down. We stood there for probably 3 seconds too long before she stepped back and pretended to be interested in a pillowcase. I pretended to be interested in a clothespin. Neither of us was fooling anyone. Nadine showed up at the house once during this stretch. Walked into the kitchen while I was standing at the stove in an apron next to Lena, their mom humming in the background like the soundtrack to her own personal movie. Nadine stopped in the doorway and just stared. Asked why I was wearing an apron. Her mom said so I wouldn't get dirty, and that I was precious. Nadine opened her mouth to say something, and her mom cut her off cold. Said Nadine lost her rights. The kitchen went dead silent for about 2 seconds, and then Lena very casually went back to stirring. Then Lena reached past me for a spice jar and we bumped hips. Nothing dramatic, just contact. But Nadine's head snapped toward us like she'd heard a gunshot. She watched Lena wipe a smudge off my cheek with her thumb. Watched the way we moved around each other at the counter, like it was choreographed. She said we looked very comfortable together, and she said comfortable like it was an accusation. Lena didn't hesitate for even a second. She said comfort wasn't a bad thing, that some people actually liked it. Clean hit, center mass. Nadine left the kitchen without another word. I stood there stirring soup and trying to act like my heart wasn't going about 150 beats per minute. A few days later, their mom signed us up for a cooking class. I still don't know how she enrolled 2 adults without their knowledge or consent. She just texted both of us the time and location and said have fun like it was already decided. Which, knowing her, it was. I showed up and Lena was already there, standing outside the building looking equal parts amused and embarrassed. She told me her mom had also bought her a new apron for the occasion. We walked in together and the instructor took one look at us, smiled, and said we looked like a cute couple. We both froze. Stammered through some version of, we're not actually together. The instructor winked, paired us at the same station anyway, and moved on. The class was supposed to be about dumplings. What it actually became was an hour of Lena being close to me, in ways that made it really difficult to focus on cooking. She corrected my knife grip from behind, hand over mine, shoulder pressed against my arm. She leaned across me to grab ingredients, and I could feel her breath on my neck. The instructor passed by, watched us for a few seconds, and announced to the room that we had great chemistry. I fumbled a dumpling so badly it looked like modern art. Lena laughed so hard she had to put the knife down. We made the ugliest dumplings the class had ever seen. The instructor was polite about it. Lena was not. She held one up and said it looked like it had given up on life. I said it was going through something. She said it looked like us 2 weeks ago. And then we both laughed, and I realized I hadn't thought about Nadine's breakup speech in hours. That was the first time since the kitchen table that my brain actually gave me a break. And it was because of Lena. I didn't have to force it. She just made the noise stop. After class, we walked outside into the evening air. The street was quiet. She stopped under a streetlight and turned to face me with an expression I hadn't seen before. Serious. Open. She told me she didn't come just because of her mom. She wanted to. Her hand brushed against mine. She said something was happening between us, and maybe next time we should actually talk about it instead of dancing around it. I said yes about 4 times faster than any normal person would. She laughed, blushed, and said, "Okay, next time." "Okay, stop. This is me again. Can we talk about the contrast here?" Nadine sat him down under fluorescent kitchen lighting and told him he was a couch. Lena is standing with him under a streetlight after a cooking class they didn't even sign up for, telling him she feels something real. Same guy, same personality. One woman saw a limitation. The other one sees exactly what she's been looking for. He didn't change a thing about himself. He just ended up next to someone with better vision. Now here comes the part you've been waiting for. The rooftop. Next day, she texted me an address. It was the same rooftop spot she'd told me about weeks ago. A hidden garden above one of the buildings in her neighborhood. String lights strung between poles. Mismatched chairs that didn't belong together, but somehow worked. A small fountain trickling in the corner. Herbs growing in clay pots along the railing. It felt like someone's secret. She said it was her favorite place in the city. She came here when she needed to sort through her thoughts. She was already sitting there when I arrived. Wind moving through her hair, hands in her lap, eyes warm but focused, like she'd been rehearsing something and wasn't sure if she'd get it right. She didn't do small talk, didn't ease into it. Just looked at me and started. She said she didn't mean to like me, that she wasn't planning on it, and it caught her completely off guard. She said when she first saw me again at that dinner, she figured I was just her sister's ex passing through. Someone she'd be polite to and then forget about. But then I kept showing up, kept being kind, kept making her laugh, kept treating her mom with the kind of respect that most guys stop bothering with after the first visit. She said it just happened, that I was patient in a way that didn't feel forced, that I never made her feel small or like she had to perform to earn my attention. She stepped closer and told me that when she was around me, she felt warm, safe, like she could just exist without trying to prove anything to anyone. She said she liked that feeling more than she expected. She said she liked me. I told her I liked her too. Simple and honest, and for once in my life, I didn't overthink the words before they came out. I just said it. Her whole face changed. Relief washed over her like something heavy she'd been carrying finally got set down. She smiled wide, a little unsteady, a little overwhelmed. Said she'd wanted to tell me that for longer than she should probably admit. We stepped closer. She asked if she could kiss me. I answered by closing the gap myself. Hands on her waist, her fingers gripping the front of my shirt. The city noise fading into background static. For the first time in months, my brain went completely silent. No replay of Nadine's voice, no loop of not enough. No analyzing what I did wrong or what I should have said different. Just quiet. Just her. Just someone who chose me on purpose, knowing exactly who I was and wanting that anyway. We had maybe 10 seconds of peace after that kiss before the rooftop door swung open. I heard it before I saw it. The click of the handle, the creak of old hinges. Lena and I pulled apart just as Nadine stepped out into the evening air, carrying grocery bags and taking the rooftop shortcut she apparently used to get home. Because of course she did. Of course the one private moment we had was going to get interrupted by the one person who shouldn't have been there. She stopped walking, set the bags down slowly, looked at me, looked at Lena, looked at the total absence of space between us, and the way my hand was still on Lena's waist. She said one word. Interesting. Not angry. Not surprised. Just that one clinical word hanging in the air, like a judge reading a verdict. Lena told her to stop showing up like a ghost every time something good was happening. Nadine said she was just passing through, which was technically true, but felt like a stretch. Then she looked back and forth between us and said, "Friends don't look at each other like that." She wasn't wrong. We weren't even remotely pulling off the Just Friends act. The evidence was overwhelming. Lena didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. She didn't scramble for an excuse or try to minimize what Nadine was seeing. She squared up, looked her sister dead in the face, and said yes. This is real. I braced myself. 3 years with Nadine taught me that any kind of confrontation ended in a full detonation. She ran hot. She ran loud. And she especially ran possessive, even over things she'd already thrown away. But the explosion didn't come. She looked at both of us for a long stretch. Something shifted behind her eyes, like she was recalculating a spreadsheet, and the numbers finally made sense. Then she sighed and said, "Fine. He's good. You're you. It makes sense." Lena asked if she was mad. Nadine said she wasn't mad, just annoyed that we were clearly having more fun than her. And then she said something I didn't expect. She said I looked happier than she'd seen me in a long time. And she left it at that. Didn't apologize. Didn't take back what she said. But for Nadine, acknowledging someone else's happiness without making it about herself was basically a standing ovation. That's about as close to a blessing as she's ever given anyone. Then from the stairwell, their mom appeared. Phone held up in the air, filming the whole thing like she was producing a nature documentary about love in the wild. She announced to absolutely no one in particular that she knew it. That love wins. That she'd been right all along. She grabbed both me and Lena into a hug so tight, I genuinely felt something in my ribcage shift position. She called us her favorite couple. Nadine pointed out, with visible exhaustion, that she was literally standing right there. Her mom looked at her without a shred of guilt and said, "Nadine lost her boyfriend privileges when she broke up with me. That the sister gets him now. Official ruling. No appeals." Nadine just stood there with the expression of someone who lost an argument she didn't know was happening, in a court she didn't know existed, with a judge who was clearly biased. Lena bit her lip trying not to laugh. I grabbed the railing behind me because I was about 2 seconds from passing out from everything hitting at once. Final update! Later that night, Lena walked me to the front door. The house was quiet. Her mom had finally stopped hovering, though I'm pretty sure she was watching from a window somewhere. Lena took my hand and said our first official date should probably happen somewhere that wasn't her mother's kitchen or backyard. I agreed completely. She said she wanted to take me somewhere new, somewhere that was just ours. Not her mom's setup, not her sister's rooftop shortcut, just us. She kissed me one more time at the doorstep, slow and deliberate, like she was making a point that this wasn't accidental and never had been. I walked home the same route I took the night Nadine ended things. Same streets, same sidewalks, same quiet city at night. But I was different in a way I couldn't even fully explain yet. My chest didn't feel heavy. My head wasn't replaying old arguments. I wasn't spiraling or second-guessing or wondering what I should have done differently. I was just walking home from a good night with a good person, and that was enough. I'm not the backup plan. I'm not too comfortable. I'm not a couch. I'm the exact same guy I've always been. Nadine looked at me and saw a limitation. Lena looked at me and saw what she'd been waiting for. Their mom saw it before either of them did and decided to make it happen herself. 3 women. Same household. Completely different conclusions about the same person. Sometimes you don't get the revenge fantasy where the ex comes crawling back, begging for a second chance. Sometimes you get something quieter and way better. You get chosen on purpose by someone who genuinely wants what you bring to the table. You get a family that flat out refuses to let you walk away. And you get a future mother-in-law who was working behind the scenes for your happiness before you even realized it was possible. So, yeah, I got dumped for being too comfortable. And the woman who actually values comfort found me anyway? Life's funny like that. Would you date your ex's sibling if the whole family was on board with it? Or is that a line you'd never cross no matter how good the connection was? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where people land on this one. Wait, before we close it out, let me add one thing. I know some of you are thinking this is messy. Dating the sister, the mom orchestrating the whole thing, the overlapping family dynamics. On paper, sure, it's complicated. But think about what actually happened. He didn't chase Nadine, didn't beg, didn't try to win her back or make her jealous. He accepted the situation with dignity, kept being himself, and someone better noticed. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do when someone says you're not enough is to simply exist around people who already know you are. That's the whole lesson right there.